Good morning, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. This is Outdoor Diane. Welcome back. If you are new, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Please do subscribe. The purpose of this channel is to get you motivated to get outdoors, even as it is here in nippy Chicago, even if it requires us to be outside in the cold weather. But recently I had an opportunity to go west to a warmer climate, and I took advantage of that. So I want you to take advantage of everything outdoors, and that could be sports activities, athleticism, camping, hunting, fishing, or even home repair. And in fact, in this case, it was travel. I want to tell you about my recent trip. I had the opportunity to attend a seminar in San Diego. Now, I had not been to San Diego in decades. In fact, I do recall when I went to San Diego, I drove across the border. It was so simple. I don't even think they checked my driver's license, but I went in, I parked, and they had these wonderful things, trinkets and bottles of vanilla and all kinds of things. And I ended up buying some vanilla, even though I don't cook like that, but I bought these wonderful blankets. I bought actually too many. I had to check them. And one I still have to this day. It's a beautiful wool blanket. So there are many, many things that you can do when you go to Tijuana, but you've probably been listening to the news, and that's why I wanted to get on. So you're probably thinking, yeah, but if I go to Tijuana, I've seen the news reports. There are people sleeping, trying to get into the United States, and you'd be stepping over parents and their children, and people sleeping and crying, and that is not what I experienced. So I wanted to give you a quick tip on what happened when I went, and then don't do what I did. So if you are in California, Southern California, and you're thinking about perhaps getting across the border, maybe it'll be your first trip, or maybe you've been there before and you'd like to be there again, as did I. So I went in a little earlier than my conference started. And the easiest thing for you to do, don't do what I did, is to just get a tour group. And they range in price from like $50 to, whatever you can afford. And that tour group will, probably group you with like-minded people, so that's really good to have a group you can chat as you're walking around doing your touring. They will also, many will meet you at the hotel. It depends on the price you pay, but if they meet you at the hotel, there will be somebody to take you to the border and somebody to meet you at the other side. And if not, they will tell you to take the blue line. So there's a train, it's called the San Diego Trolley. And for $2.50, you get a one-way pass on this San Diego Trolley. Now, it says trolley, but it looks to me very much like what we have here in Chicago for our transit, except there it's a little cleaner, and there's nobody sleeping, and and a lot of people with bicycles, so it's a very active area. But it's $2.50, and it'll be, in fact, you go to the platform, you want to get on the blue line. You'll go to the platform, there'll be a little, just a small kiosk, little machine where you can buy a Pronto card. So the Pronto card allows you to show that you paid, because they will have attendants. They'll have, they look like police officers, so it could be the security for the transit system there. And they will periodically check to see who has paid and who has not, because once you pay, they'll just take their little wand and then look at the card to see if you've paid. And within 25 minutes, you get on the blue line to go to San Isidro. And within 25 minutes, you're in Mexico. You get off the train at San Isidro, and you walk across the border. There are people in line. It doesn't take long to get inside Mexico, not at all. But then you said on, I know you're thinking, but wait a minute, you said on your thumbnail, paying at the border. Yes, don't do what I did. So if you decide, whether you decide to have someone take you to the border, you're still going to have to go into immigration, or they meet you there. You'll come outside. Not very much to see right outside the train station there when you get off the blue line, the San Diego Trolley. Not very much. A few little shops, not very much. You can take a little cabin to the Revolution Avenue, Avenida Revolucion, and which is where all of the shops and things like that, and so many things for you to be able to purchase, have a real Mexican meal, a real Mexican taco, craft beers, tequila, So not the tequila that you think about and you take a shot and, you know, with some salt. No, this is sipping tequila. Just wonderful flavor. And then if you are one of those folks who would like to fill up on your prescriptions, I don't have any requirements for medication, so I didn't want to do that. But check and see whether that might be something you want to do. Plus, if you get a guide, they can give you history about the area. So they'll take you to designated little restaurants. You will be able to shop, maybe get a little discount on some of the things you purchase because they know the people. And you get the history, you get a tour, and then they take you back right to the border. I didn't do that. I decided, I came in, it was a half day, and I thought, okay, I'll just run, you know, across the border, take a few shots, maybe go into town, maybe buy another one of those blankets if they still sell those. Yeah, don't do it that way. And I took the blue line, but what I did, because I was staying right outside of San Diego, there's an island, Coronado Island, lovely, all of it is lovely. So I was able to take an Uber across the bridge, because in order to get to San Diego from where I was, you take an Uber across the bridge, or you can drive. But I took the Uber, and it let me off at the ferry, which I wanted to take. Lovely ferry, you're going across the water there, just a beautiful scenic, just beautiful. $9 each way, so I bought round trip to take the ferry across, which let me off at the convention center. Beautiful big convention center there in San Diego. And on the other side of the convention center is a train line, but it is the green line, so that I had to make a connection from the green to the blue. So that was kind of time consuming. Yeah, and so I'm already, you know, it's past 2:30. Plus, here's the tip. Go there and take a group, you know, have it all arranged that way so that you know. Because when I got there, it was very late. And then I saw, as I got off to go across the street, there are a lot of people who are waiting there to meet taxi people asking you if you want a taxi, and I decided to go across the street. But as I looked across the street, I saw the line that was headed back in immigration. And then I realized that, yeah, my trip would have to be cut short. Now, if you take the tour, when you finish, they're going to take you closer to the beginning of that line. You're still going to have to wait. You may have to wait about an hour in line, you know, and it's not, you know, disorganized. It's a line, you know, and people are standing there waiting and moving as the line moves, which is very slowly. But I went there, it was a Sunday. Don't go on a Sunday. And if you do, don't start in the middle of the afternoon. The way I did. Start early. Don't go on a Sunday. And then don't go during a holiday period. Because as you can imagine, people are traveling both ways. It's going to be, and then people who work at immigration, some people might call in sick. It's all kind of things. So don't do that. That adds to your time. And the pain that I expressed was me getting in line to return to the United States. And it's a line, and there's no place for you to sit, and it's a line, and it wasn't moving fast. And in fact, I was in line for 3.5 hours. Now, I have not waited 3.5 hours since Michael Jackson came to Chicago, and my stepfather and I stood outside saying if we could get tickets. And I was a much younger person, as you can imagine. And so I did everything wrong. But I still had an enjoyable time. As you wait in line, you know, it's rough waiting in line. There's, like I said, no place to sit. But every few feet, there is somebody singing or selling churros. So at least you have that. And the singing, it can be ranchero. There was one guy who was singing a rap in Spanish. One woman was singing opera. So there was a lot of that. But you are standing there. Now, what I was told at the airport, and even some of the things that I read, is that if you have global entry, your exit is faster. I have global entry. I waited in line 3.5 hours. Nowhere was there a sign for global entry. In fact, there was a big sign when I got there saying, we're doing the best we can do, something to that effect for TSA. So there was no line for global entry. So it was 3.5 hours. Don't go on a Sunday. Don't go on a holiday weekend. Start early. And if you're wise, you will go with the tour. If you don't go with the group, and as I say, it can be from 50 to whatever your budget can afford. But if you don't, start early. And I wouldn't get just the one way on the Pronto card. What I do, just in case, is I always get a full day. So my ticket, this is the ticket, the Pronto card, I got for $6. So that was a full day. So I could get off. And they had some store names in the San Diego portion where a lot of the people from the Mexican side would come and shop. I think there was a Marshall's, things like that. I like to do public transportation because I like to find out how the people, who the people are, how they interact with each other, what's going on, and you find a lot on public transportation. And I try to do that as often as I can when I travel. But don't do that, because by the time I got back to the United States side, it was night. And that's the other thing. I'm traveling alone. I don't travel at night. Word to the wise. Don't travel at night if you're on public transportation anywhere. I don't really do it in Chicago, and I love Chicago. So this is just a tip. Now, if you want to see some images of what I saw when I was there, I'm going to attach those. But those are the tips. You get there, if you're going to be in, Southern California, if you're going to be in San Diego, do go to Tijuana. Because you're going to have wonderful food. You're going to be able to buy many things. Again, you could probably, I don't know about the medication scene, but they're everywhere to be had. Friendly people, you don't have to worry about that. And there is not a lot of people sleeping on the ground trying to get into the United States. But there are a line of people, orderly filed, but they zig around so many times, this orderly line going through immigration. So that is my tip. And if you want to see what I did, the rest of the video shows you a bit of what I did. Thanks, YouTube family. Okay, YouTube family, it is very early in the morning on Sunday, and I am waiting for my Uber to take me to the airport on a bit of a getaway. Well, it's really not a getaway. It's already wait. It's not really a getaway. I am going to a conference. I have arrived at the Lowe's Coronado Bay Resort. Single room, king size bed. It was a pleasant drive, although this was the busiest day